Hello everybody, I'm here with Cinnabun. She is getting spayed tomorrow, which I'm sure you can tell from the title of this video. But I thought that it would be really useful to actually fully document the entire process from the beginning to the end. I know I am very anxious about the entire thing, and I just think it would be really helpful to see someone fully go through the process, know what to expect, how to prep for it. And yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of prep today, just getting ready, and I'll bring you along for it. Thanks. Hello Buns, and welcome back to Cinnabun Sundays, a weekly video series where we talk about all things bunny. I'm Morgan, Cinnabun's bun mom, and I have quite the video for you guys today. Today, I am going to be sharing with you my experience getting Cinnabun spayed. So when this video comes out, it will be exactly 1 year from the time I got Cinnabun spayed. I got her spayed at 6 months of age, and I documented it on our IGTV channel back in the day, but now that we have this platform, I thought it would be really useful to take that footage, take everything I documented, and put it into this video that is easy to find right on our channel, and hopefully is helpful for anyone going through the process. Getting your rabbit spayed and neutered is, in my opinion, an extremely important part of rabbit care. Especially for female rabbits, ovarian cancer and just reproductive cancer in general is extremely common in rabbits that are not spayed. But for male and female rabbits, getting your rabbit spayed or neutered is extremely essential for just correcting any hormonal behaviors that you don't want to become permanent. So litter box training, territorial markings, even just some aggression, those are all things that are much more hormonal, and getting your rabbit fixed can really help alleviate and just smooth out those hormonal tendencies. So not only is it better and healthier for your rabbit, but it's also going to be better for you, the rabbit owner, the rabbit parent. So as far as when you should get your rabbit spayed or neutered, it's recommended to wait until your rabbit is like fully developed, so 4 to 6 months. I like to stay in the world of safety because it is a risky procedure. I got Cinnabun fixed when she was 6 months, she was fully developed, and that's what my veterinarian recommended. But you can get your rabbit fixed later in life. It becomes riskier once they're senior rabbits, but you can get a rabbit fixed that's 1, 2, 3, 4 years old. But just know that any of those hormonal behaviors I was talking about might over time have become more learned behaviors. So while you'll be doing your rabbit a good service for their health, some of those hormonal tendencies might have sunk in because they've gone uncorrected for so long. But it is a risky procedure. Anytime anyone, a human, an animal, anyone is going under the knife, there are risks associated with that, and I need you to understand that, and I understood that going in. So that is why it is so important to prepare, to find a good vet, and to know what you're going into. So I hope that this video can be a guide for you as you prepare for this so that you can have as smooth and healthy and risk-free of a scenario as possible. Because I know it is so stressful. I've been there, I get it, I understand. So I just kind of wanted to talk just very openly and candidly about our experience. I have a ton of footage from the entire process that I'll insert here and there, but I kind of wanted to talk through how we prepared, what it actually was like going in, and then the recovery process. So my vet is awesome, and since the 2 days following a spay are really intense for them, just with healing, they keep the bunnies for 2 nights just to monitor them and make sure everything's okay, which I feel really good about that, but I'm gonna miss her so much. So I'm just spending all of the time I can with her. She has no clue what's coming. It breaks my little heart. So the second I got Cinnabun, I had a rabbit vet that I knew I wanted to take her to. I did a ton of research before bringing her home. I Googled rabbit vets in my area. I read reviews. I called the vets to talk to them and just hear how many rabbits they actually saw. So I picked out my vet ahead of time. My very first tip with getting your rabbit fixed is, if it's possible, find a rabbit vet that will keep your rabbit overnight after the surgery. I was lucky enough where Cinnabun stayed at the vet for 2 nights, which means that she was monitored 24/7 post-op. While I do think that I am a good rabbit caretaker, knowing that a professional who knew exactly what to look for, who did these surgeries every day, was there looking after her, made me so much more calm. Now I realize this is definitely a privilege and it's not possible for everyone, so I'll kind of get to that when we get a little further into this video, but if you can find a vet that will keep your rabbit for at least 1 night just to monitor them, I think that is a huge plus and is one of the reasons why this surgery was so smooth for us. Okay, so again, I just kind of wanted to share what I am packing. So I already showed you guys all of her food and stuff that I'm bringing as a snack. I also have a little bag of some edible chews for her if she is like with it enough to be playing. I have her favorite blankie right here. I have her hard carrier that she'll be in that's lined with a puppy pad, and then again, her hay. So I'm gonna pack all this stuff up, kind of chill for a little bit, and then I guess we'll go, which is so crazy. So preparing for the surgery, I did a lot of shopping beforehand. I'm going to link in the description of this video. I have an entire list of everything that I bought and had on hand in preparation for the spay, just to have for you as a guide, but I'll kind of talk through it as well. Anytime your rabbit goes through a surgery, the number one thing you want to do is get their gut moving again. They are going through a lot of trauma, and the last thing you want is for them to go into stasis alongside surgery recovery. So you need to get your rabbit eating. The number one thing I had on hand was critical care. Because Cinnabun stayed at the vet overnight, I didn't end up having to use it. However, you probably will have to use it. It is important to have, and honestly, I probably should have supplemented it in more than I did. Critical care is a rabbit feeding supplement that is perfect for when your bunny is not eating on their own. You mix it with water, you put it in a syringe, and you feed it to them, and it gives them calories, it gives them liquid hydration, and it just helps stimulate their gut. I went to the fresh market and I picked up Cinnabun's absolute favorite veggie. I also had a box of her favorite treats, which were the Supreme Natural Meadow Loops that are made with Timothy hay and thyme. She loves those, so I had a box of those ready to go just to tempt her to eat. I even went and got those little oxbow lollipops that I've talked about that are made out of Timothy hay and some treats. And again, that's something, it may not be the best form of Timothy hay, but it's something that she can ingest and eat and chew. So I had those on hand ready to go. I also picked up a heating pad because post-op she had a little shaved spot on her tummy. So I had that heating pad ready to go so that she could be warm. And I also got a collapsible dishpan that I used as her litter box because after surgery, they can't jump. They have an incision on their tummy, so jumping into a litter box isn't gonna happen. So I had a dishpan that I could just flatten out, put her hay and litter in that she could just walk in and out of gently. Lastly, I had an exercise pen on hand ready to go because once they come back from surgery, they cannot run around for at least a week because you don't want them to tear their stitches. So post-op, they need to have a recovery pen set up. Okay, sorry, I'm like kind of emotional. Vet just dropped Cinnabun off, and I'm trying not to cry. Saying bye to her, it's just so hard, she looks so scared. It's scary. Your little baby's going off in surgery, and you have no way to tell them what's going on, so it's just hard. But I'm gonna try to share everything with you. Yeah, so her surgery is scheduled for about noon, and I should be getting a call from the vet before her surgery just to go over everything. So that is what's going on today. I'm going to be a wreck for the next 2 days, just like not knowing what's going on. I will talk to you guys later. So on the day of the surgery, I was an absolute wreck. I was so stressed out, I was so sad, and I just was so heartbroken having to hand her over to the vet, but I knew it was gonna be okay because I really trusted them. I sent her to the vet in her carrier and I packed her some treats, I packed her some greens, I packed her some hay, I even packed some alfalfa hay just to add that extra calcium for recovery afterwards. And I packed her pellets. I packed her pretty much anything that she would need for her 2-night sleepover. So on surgery day, there were a few things that I had the option to do that I opted into. So I will let you know what those are. They were all optional. I really didn't need to do them, but y'all know me, I'm a little over the top and I just like to be prepared. Number one was having blood work done. So blood work was not essential, but getting blood work done of your rabbit is useful to know. Are there any underlying conditions that we need to know about? And are there things just that we should be aware of before going into surgery? Again, it is not necessary. If you've had it done before, it definitely isn't. But if you're someone like me who just panics about everything, the peace of mind might be worth like the $70 that the blood work was. The second option was to have an IV catheter added in. So I am no medical professional, but essentially an IV catheter, it's like a needle that gets inserted into the vein. It's not necessary for the surgery, but it's a way that they can administer liquids, and if anything were to go wrong during surgery, instead of having to insert it while things were going wrong, that would already be in the vein and they could administer medication and fluids properly. I'm getting sweaty talking about this. Also keep in mind, at the time I was living in Washington, D.C., so everything is just so expensive there. So I think the total cost of everything, including staying at the vet for 2 nights, was about $600, which is very, very expensive. Most places will probably be closer to like $300–400, but I added in all of the extra cost. Cinnabun had 2 nights of boarding, and I'm in one of the most expensive cities in the world at the time. They gave me a call around 2 p.m. letting me know that the surgery was done and that Cinnabun had done very well. There were no complications, and I felt like relief in that moment that, okay, we got through phase 1. It's now about 2:30 p.m. and the vet just called me back again, and she said that Cinnabun went through the surgery. It went great. She is awake. She's groggy, but she's doing great. I'm going to call them back probably closer to around 6 or 7 tonight just to see how she's doing, and then I'm going to talk to the vet again tomorrow for like a 24-hour update just to see if she's eating, pooping, and if everything is going as planned. I'm just feeling a lot better, knowing that there were no complications with the surgery and everything went smoothly. I know that the recovery process is intense and things can still go wrong, but knowing that she is in their hands just really makes me feel better. So I will update you guys probably tomorrow and let you know how she's doing. Like I said, not every vet office offers overnight housing for your bunny after their surgery, their spay or neuter. And especially for a neuter, because it's not nearly as invasive of a surgery, a lot of times your rabbit will go home day 1. So if you are bringing your rabbit home that day, you need to have your pen set up. You need everything set up for when your rabbit gets home. And you need to expect that you're probably going to be doing some assisted feeding that night. By assisted feeding, I mean critical care. As your rabbit starts to recover, they are not going to want to eat on their own. And that, like I said, isn't great because you want their gut to be moving. If your rabbit is not eating on their own, it is time to administer critical care. So you're gonna get a scoop of your critical care, you're gonna get a bowl with water in it, you're gonna mix it up. I usually add a lot of water so that it's easy to fill with the syringe. Shake it up, get it nice and stirred, and then you're gonna give your rabbit the syringe. Cinnabun does not love critical care, so I usually will put like a little bit of banana or a little treat on the tip of the syringe and then feed it to her that way so I can kind of trick her into taking the syringe. Talk to your vet about it. They should tell you exactly what you need to do. Now for me, I was lucky enough here that I did not have to do any of that assisted feeding. That was done for me at the vet, so I just went on with my life, and I would call the vet every couple hours just to see how Cinnabun was doing and get updates on her health. So let's skip forward to when I did pick my little baby Bop up and I brought her home. I was so happy. I had her pen completely set up and ready to go. I had a hide in the corner so she could be nice and safe, and I put her heating pad underneath there. I had treats and toys splayed out. I had her water bowl and her litter box set up. An additional tip is for her litter box, I sprinkled a lot of oregano into her hay because oregano is actually anti-inflammatory and it's yummy, so it just tempts her to eat hay. I had Cinnabun's surgery scheduled for a Thursday so that I would bring her home on a Saturday, so all day Saturday and Sunday I had zero plans, I just watched her. So I definitely recommend, if you do work or go to school, try to get it scheduled so that your main recovery time with your rabbit will be on the weekends, or maybe you might have to take some time off of work, but they definitely should not be alone during the recovery process. The doctor sent me home with some pain medicine that I needed to administer to her, and I used that same tip that I shared before of just putting something sweet on the tip of the syringe to help administer that so it wasn't torture for her. And luckily, because this was day 2 of her recovery, she was starting to eat a little bit on her own. Her appetite appetite wasn't fully back, but because she was eating on her own and drinking on her own, I didn't find it necessary to give critical care. However, if your rabbit is not eating on their own, keep up that assisted feeding until they are tempted to eat on their own. You'll probably find during this time that your rabbit's poop is smaller and darker than usual. That is totally normal. As long as they are pooping, that's the most important thing. Another thing that I would recommend is to check your rabbit's stitches. Now, the stitches that I had for Cinnabun, it was an internal glue, so there was no like actual stitching, and I didn't have to go back to the vet to get them removed. As far as what your stitches should look like, they were red, but they weren't like bright red and inflamed. Essentially, I just like looked at what they looked like when I got her home the first day, because I knew the vet had seen them and everything was fine. And every day I would make sure that they weren't getting worse. My best tip for checking your rabbit's stitches is to feed them out of your hand and have them put their paws on your hand, similar to that perch technique that I've taught y'all before. Lift up their paws so that you can see their whole tummy, and that way you can see their stitches. Recovery is about a week long, and recovery looks different for every rabbit. I was so lucky where our recovery, I think, was very, very smooth. Every day, Cinnabun's appetite came back a little bit more. Every day she got a little more upset being in her pen and just wanted out, but I could see that personality returning, and that was what was important to me. If you notice that your rabbit suddenly stops eating, if they are way more lethargic after like 4 or 5 days than usual, or if you notice that their stitch is just starting to look really red and inflamed, call your vet. That is what they are there for. You can send photos, you can give them a call. It is so useful having a vet on hand that you feel comfortable calling. Good morning, sweetest pea. Are you ready, sweet girl? Are you ready to get out of here? You can come out, baby. Freedom. I know, look at that, baby girl. Come on out.
We're in this together now. We're in this together now. Give me your love and tell me your secrets. 'Cause we're in this together now. Yeah, we're in this together now.
So I would say for Cinnabun, after about 5 days, she was back to her normal personality, and that's when she was like, get me the hell out of this pen. I waited 7 days to let her back out and free roam because she is an active girl, she loves to jump, and I knew she was gonna rip open those stitches. So for me, the last 2 days were the toughest because I could tell she was miserable in her exercise pen and she just wanted out and didn't understand why she couldn't come out. I recommend just spending a ton of time in the pen with your rabbit. Let them know they are not alone. I would bring my laptop into the pen and just sit on the ground. She would flop next to me and I would pet her and talk to her. And I think that that is what helped keep her sane. So finally, after 7 days, it was time to take down the pen and let Cinnabun hop around and be free. I kept an eye on her stitches a couple days after that just to make sure that we didn't have any tears, but we did not. Only complication that we had was something I didn't know about, which was irritation at the injection site. So a few weeks after her spay, I was grooming her and I noticed a bump right on the back of her like spine. It just looked gross. So I sent a photo to the vet and immediately they were like, yeah, this is just like from where the injection went in for her anesthesia for her to go under. It's just like irritation from that. So they recommended that I just go to the store, pick up some Benadryl anti-itch cream, which I can show right here on the screen. And then I rubbed it on her back every day for like a few days and then it cleared right up. I am extremely thankful for our entire spay experience. I know that we were so lucky that it was an extremely smooth process, but I really hope that this information, that this video, seeing our experience and everything there can help you feel better about doing the same with your rabbit. Please comment down below any specific questions that you might have about the process, and I will do my very, very best to answer them. But again, any real true questions you have, bring them to your vet. That is what they are there for, and they want to help you, and they know more about rabbits than I do. I hope that this video was super useful for you. I wish you the best of luck in your spay or neuter journey, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye, Buns.